Going live. Hey everybody, my name's Mark. My name is not Marketing Brain Trust. No, my name is Leslie Rohde. Let's see if we can start that over. Cut. We'll take that out in post, okay? And so Leslie Rohde at Marketers Brain Trust, and with me today is Michelle Chan Sangbong. Dan Thies has been in and out a couple of times. He apparently is having, I'm going to go ahead and guess, bandwidth problems over there in a little town in Texas. And joining with us today is Kristen. Kristen, I'm sorry, I don't know your last name.
It's okay, Kristen Keene.
Kristen Keene at Rethreaded, and Michelle has been we're working with Kristen on a kind of unique project, and unique business for some time now, and they have some very cool results to share. Things that are, I guess you'd call them, late breaking news.
Late breaking news.
Absolutely, and Michelle confirmed this for me. I believe it's not even available to everybody yet. It's like a by invitation only thing. Is that true or not true?
That's right. It is a by invitation only thing right now. I've been in a number of, and it has to do with Shopify. So I've been in a number of Shopify stores, maybe a half dozen so far. And Kristen's store at rethreaded.com has been the only one that even had this as an opportunity to add a Facebook buy button in there. So it's really kind of excited that somebody that I know that we're working with has this opportunity to sort of leverage Facebook F-commerce. F-commerce now is it? That'll be our next thing is F-commerce. And that's kind of nice too because F comes right after E. So in the
and sometimes that's immediately what I think of when I think about commerce is the letter F. And so Michelle, I think you actually have a presentation prepared.
I do, and I'm going to go ahead and share the slide. And Kristen, I want you to tell everyone a little bit about Rethreaded, and let's see. Let me know if I get my slides up right and if everybody can see those.
But it sounds like something to do with nuts and bolts, right?
It does.
When I strip that thing out, then you rethread it, right?
That's absolutely. Absolutely. So is my screen showing now for the no hassle Facebook buy button?
Yes, and here in just a minute I'll make you the presenter as soon as we get through talking to each other. And
okay. Fantastic. Fantastic.
Oh, and there is Dan. Oh my God, Dan actually did make it in. And Dan, did you actually buy color since last week?
Oh, you bought some color. You paid your color bill.
Yeah.
I mean,
they gave me a free trial.
A free trial of color. Good. So did you go ahead for the 16 million, or are you still on 16 or 256 or I don't know 1,000?
I think I've got 256 colors. So
256 colors. That's good. That's okay. Good. Excellent. Well, welcome, Dan. We just made the introductions of Kristen Keene at Rethreaded, and Michelle's about to ask Kristen for a little bit of backstory about what she and they do, and so we joined at a perfect time. So Kristen, I think you have the floor.
Absolutely, Kristen, and I have some screens here, so I don't know if you want to look at the cycle or tell them about sewing a new story, but
go to the cycle. That's good.
Okay.
We're a social entrepreneurship, and we are trying to break the cycle of the sex trade through business. So that's prostitution, human trafficking, strip clubs, pornography, basically wherever sexual exploitation happens for the sake of profit. So we are trying to do this by offering viable work, both on a global level and on a local level. So globally, we partner with about 10 companies from around the world, and we buy their product, and they give employment to women somewhere in the world. So we work with companies from Africa, Nepal, Ethiopia, Nashville, Tennessee, multiple places in India, and we buy from those companies and help support them. And we affect the lives of over 2,000 women internationally. And then locally, we employ women coming out of the sex trade in Jacksonville, Florida. And what we do is people donate their T-shirts to us, and we upcycle them into new products. So most of our women, 100% of our women, have come out of severe trauma, drug addiction, and now they're at this point in their life where they're able to start over and start a new life. So we are the place of employment that gives women a new start. A majority of our women come out of either have a criminal record from their past or no work history, because some of our women are on the street from age 15 to 30, and they finally get out of that cycle and They just need a good, supportive work environment to start their life over in. So we provide that.
And and I know the story, but tell everybody kind of what inspired you to start Rethreaded here and where that came from.
Well, I spent 5 years in Calcutta, India, working with women in a red light district called Sonagachi, and there's 10,000 women there. 30% are underage. So it's like 3,000 girls under the age of 17. And my first 2 years I just spent in the red light district making friends with women, hearing their stories. And after 2 years, we're like, we have to do something more. So we ended up starting a business called Sari Bari. And it gave women a way out to leave and then have sustainable income so they could actually have the freedom to leave this life. So that company now is doing awesome. They employ over 100 women. They're doing great. We started with 3 women, and now it employs 100. It's 10 years old. They're doing awesome. So when I moved back from India, I started visiting Phillips Highway here in Jacksonville, starting to meet women in prison, started to hear their stories, and I was like, it's the same thing here. Like, sex trade industry is stealing a woman's worth and value here and stealing their future here, so I was like, we need to do something. So that's, and the business piece no one was doing, so we decided to start the business piece and see what we could do so we could give women a way out and be able to start a new life.
That's fantastic. And I asked you this question before, and I'll ask it again. With the work that you've done in India and the things that have happened here in the U.S., about how many people have learned about the effects of the sex trade? I mean, it's more than the 2,000 women that you've helped in India. That number was huge, and you told me the number, and I'd like you to share it. So,
do I remember the number? Like how many people we've got reached with the message?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we estimated over 250,000 people.
Fantastic.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge number.
Huge number.
It's a huge number. And so you have a Shopify store. You guys built your Shopify store last year,
Mm-hmm.
and on your Shopify store, you're actually selling the products that you all make from Upcycle T-shirts. So you're currently making scarves and necklaces and bracelets and things like that. And so people can go to the website at rethreaded.com if they want to make a purchase.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the cool things that happened the other day when we logged in is there was a button that said sell on Facebook. And I said, Kristen, can we do that? And you're like, yeah, we should do that. Why not? Why not? And so I'm going to probably, unless Dan or Leslie have any other questions for you, Kristen, I'm going to probably go and talk about how we're implementing that for you and the tests that we're beginning to run.
Yep.
Fellas, do you have anything else?
Actually, I have one. And so, I mean, it sounds like, Kristen, you have what we would characterize just from purely a business perspective. Obviously, there's almost it's not obvious. It is obvious. There's also a 501c3 dimension to what you do. But you have what I'd call a two-sided market. You know, you're in some sense you're a broker, or actually like what's it called?
Distributor.
Salvation Army, right? Where you take in goods, you do some process to them, and then you sell them. And so on the one hand, you actually do have the commercial side. You're actually selling on Shopify, but you also have this other side where you've got to have your supply of raw materials, I guess, in order to upscale. And so how do you actually, and I know we want to all get to figure out how, like Facebook has a buy button and how they're getting into payments processing, so now they're the new PayPal. Let's not forget that. But tell me about this other headline, because you also have that outreach you have to do in order to basically provide the raw materials for your factory, right?
So how do we get the T-shirts?
Yeah. So how does that work?
That's always an interesting process. We have like 3 main sources. People will do T-shirt drives for us. So they'll go to their church, their school, their business, and everyone will bring in their old T-shirts. So right now in the warehouse we have 2,000 pounds of T-shirts because we're stocking it for Christmas to get ready. Because last year we ran out of viable T-shirts. So and then we have some businesses that we're starting to get connections with who, like print shops, who will run seconds. And usually they literally just throw those away. So they're starting to donate that to us.
Okay.
And then we're trying to get in with bigger corporations to get bigger donations of like seconds. Like if we had connections with a Hanes or Gildan, one of those companies who could donate us a large quantity of seconds that normally they would just give away, ship to Africa, or sometimes throw away. So that's what we're
Yeah,
trying.
it's interesting. I mean, because we actually have in our private client consultancy, we're actually working with somebody who has a 501c3, and he has some kind of similar dynamics. It's not quite as obviously two-sided as yours, but he's more of a trying to develop a collective, if you will, a new board, but for good things. And so in that, there's two pieces of how do you actually make it work for the people you're helping, but then how do you actually get more people to actually help those people you're helping? Right? So yeah, interesting. I didn't want to digress too far into that, but one of the things that that Dan and I both teach everybody we work with is if you can find a way to make your business into a mission, you grow your business exponentially. In your case, you have a mission and you made it into a business, which makes it self-sustaining and truly growable. So good on you.
Thank you.
So that's all I had, Michelle. Sorry.
Fantastic. Not at all. I'm sorry, I talked over you, Kristen. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I got people like Michelle and Dan on my team now, so it's very helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Michelle, why don't you launch into your presentation?
Sure.
As Sharon points out, yes, it is very inspiring, and I know we'd like to hear about the details about how other people can use this, this commerce aspect as well. So.
Absolutely. So you should be able to see my screen now. I want to make sure everybody can see the screen.
Yep.
And so one of the things that's really cool is this is a cut right from Facebook. And now you can actually have a real live buy button right on Facebook. And if you're currently using Shopify and not set up for Facebook yet, I have a feeling it will be coming and rolling out, but we were really glad to be able to test this and begin looking at it prior to that. And so this was a really quick throw together. This ad here, because they're ads, I mean they become page posts, but this ad here literally took about 2 minutes, and now we can sell on Facebook after it's approved. And so I'm going to just skip a couple of slides here. The things that you'll want to note is the very first time you do it, you are going to have to request it. There'll be a little notice in Shopify, and then you'll just have to simply connect your Facebook account. Just like you connect Facebook to the rest of your life, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to commit to some sort of a Facebook app for the cats soon because it's everything now. I don't know if they have a cat ID for Facebook, but I think they're working on it. And
actually, it may not be scalable. There's so many cats.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Anyway.
But the no-kill shelters are helping. The trap, neuter, release programs are helping reduce those numbers. So inside the Shopify store, and I just grabbed a few screenshots here so we could show it. Like now inside, this is literally the back end of the rethreaded Shopify store, and so you can see there are options. By the way, they've been approved for Pinterest too, and so we'll be working on their Pinterest ads too. I don't know if they got so lucky because they are a 501c3 or what it is, but they've been blessed to have lots of opportunities. And so literally it's just a tab inside of Shopify. You go and click that create a post button. It pops up your products. Do you want to work on one product? Do you want to use multiple products? Real straightforward. And now you're ready to do it. Get your copy together and just be mindful that it's going to be Facebook copy, so write some great copy, right? Get your image together. It automatically will pick, just like Facebook always does, that middle of the picture. So here you have an opportunity to edit that thumbnail or upload a new image. And I'm going to show a picture in just a second, but one of the things that I've noticed, and it really is difficult when you're trying to make great pictures for Shopify, because Shopify has these beautiful large square images, but Facebook shows beautiful rectangular images, and it selects it right and slices it right out of the middle. And so you'll see on this first product sample that I did that it actually cuts the product in half. The third thing is audiences, and I was pleased to find out that actually the audiences is optional in here. You can publish a product to Facebook with a buy button without actually selecting an audience. And
that's to your Facebook page, is that right, Michelle?
Yeah, it posts right to your Facebook page. It becomes right on your page. And you can see it as an admin a few minutes after you post or just a minute after you post, but it still has to go through that Facebook approval process even if you haven't run an ad on it. But what I don't like about the audiences in here, actually, let me tell you one other interesting thing is all the billing for your ad here, and I created a little stir with the accounting department at Rethreaded, because I'm authorized to run Facebook ads, and so I have my Facebook budget, but this actually, the billing goes through Shopify for the ads. So check this out. The billing goes through Shopify for the ads, but through Facebook when you buy the product.
Oh, that's twisted.
Yeah, it's completely reversed.
So you got two middlemen.
So yeah, so everybody's getting a piece. Everybody's getting a piece.
Well, how do you set your budget? There must be a place to set the budget in Shopify then.
There is a place to set the budget in Shopify. There is a place to set the budget and how many more days you want it to run from today.
Interesting.
So, and that's right there in Shopify. But you can actually publish it without doing the audience, and I'm going to be testing different ways to use those Buy Now button posts as ads inside Facebook so you can do better targeting. Because right now, and I think I have it on another slide, right now inside Facebook, inside Shopify, inside Shopify, it works a lot like a boost. And so you just to say where you can run with particular audiences you have, you can reach existing customers, you can do retargeting audiences, or you can do a boost-like audience. So you can say where, how old are they male or female, and what are they interested in. So here's a little. Go ahead.
But once it becomes an ad approved by Facebook, is the only way you can run that ad and the only way you can manage budget through the Shopify interface? Or does now it become a standalone ad that you can manage through Facebook?
It does not become an ad in Facebook. However, it is a page post, and so there is still a boost button on it.
So you can do anything else you can do with a post, right?
Yep. So far as I know, I'm trying to test that now, and Facebook was acting up today when I was trying to run my first test on it. But there's a boost button that automatically appears on it, and it also shows up when you go into page post engagement. And so it's pretty cool. So now you can really get the benefit of the Facebook ad at the same time. So just a really quick to show you, if on this page I have a edit thumbnail. I'm not sure, you can't see my mouse, but next to the word image is edit thumbnail. So you can edit the thumbnail that's already in there, pick one of the product images and choose your rectangle, or you can upload your own image. But I do suspect, and I talk about this later, I do suspect that 20% rule is still going to apply. I don't think we're going to see that go away.
Right.
But you haven't tested it yet.
But I have not tested. Well, the ad I ran, the one I ran today, approved, but I didn't run an ad on it. It's over the 20% rule, so I don't have test results back for it yet. But I am going to be testing it.
Well, but again, I mean, it's like, adding the buy button, to one of these. Obviously, it makes it just right off the bat. You can say, oh, it must be commercial, right? So it's got to be put in the same category as ads. Otherwise, they've got a weird disconnect there in the brain.
Absolutely, absolutely. And here's just a little something to show you, because this and by the way, this threw me at first. I missed the edit button the first couple of ones that I did, and so I started paying attention to the products. Here are some of Rethreaded's products: their Harmony bracelet, Harmony necklace, and one of the gray scarves that they make. And these are all made from T-shirts here in Jacksonville. And while these are great images for Shopify, when you get ready to put them on Facebook and they get clipped, they may not be. So Facebook would normally clip that straight across the middle, right? And so you have the ability to move that square around, but even the third one isn't a great image now as a product image. Even though it looks great on Shopify, it's not going to turn into a great Facebook image. And so you want to pay attention to what those are going to look like in the feed. And I've included here the dimensions. 1200 by 628 or 600 by 314 work out to be the best dimensions, and you end up with a nicer image, and you get the right proportion. And for the first time in a long time, Facebook has stayed really steady on this size. It used to be that those post sizes were changing every 5-6 months, and I would say that we're probably now at least a year and a half into those being a fixed size, so look for that to change any minute now.
Well,
once they got to kind of decided to be to have consistency, so that something that worked in the news feed would work on the right-hand rail. I think that kind of constrained their ability to change it all the time.
Right.
Well, yeah. Let's face it. They could actually have been split testing. You know, they don't always act stupidly. I don't think. I have to think
No,
about it.
I think they test a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's all of it. We're always testing stuff, right?
Yeah.
So.
Now, this actually is a good place to answer Don's question about what's an upcycled T-shirt. So Kristen, you want to dive into that one?
Yeah, an upcycled T-shirt just means we take the T-shirt and we make it into something new. So like the T-shirt, those pictures that were just up, we turned the T-shirt into a necklace, a scarf, and a bracelet. So it's just taking something that was originally for this purpose and creating it for a different purpose. So it's kind of symbolic of what happens in the stories of our women as well.
And so it never ends up as another T-shirt.
Never is another T-shirt, no.
Yeah, okay, got it, all right. And it's upcycled in the sense that it's actually worth more money because T-shirts are cheap and these other things can command higher price.
Yeah, because it's not recycled. Usually recycled, it becomes
the same thing.
Same thing, yeah. Yep, is transformation. It's transformed.
Gotcha. Yeah, so hopefully that answers Don's question.
Yeah, I hope Don let me know if it didn't help.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what's cool too, and Kristen, when they do their T-shirt drives, they ask people to pre-sort them, but they're actually able to have a tiny recycling element too. So if they do get T-shirts in that they can't use, they do get used in a recycling process somewhere. Is that right, Kristen?
Yeah,
so they don't go back in the trash.
We sell them to this company who employs refugees, and they make rags out of them and then sell the rags.
Oh, interesting. Wow. Okay. So that's downcycled.
And that's downcycled, right?
Although on the other hand, I have some T-shirts that are basically rags. But
right. And we would use those and resell.
Those are my garage T-shirts. You can't have them. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead. Michelle.
Your wife would be upset if you got rid of those, because then that means you'd wear something nice in the garage. So.
Indeed. That's true. Yep.
After the image, of course, once you're ready, you can just simply publish the item. And this is a preview of the ad of what it's going to look like on Facebook when someone clicks the buy button. The other thing that's neat on Facebook is no matter what you click on this ad, it automatically pops up to the buy interface. So if you click the headline, it doesn't take you to the product back on the website. If you click the buy button, it pops this up. If you click the picture, it pops it up. So everything is hot for F-commerce.
And so we don't have that weirdness with photo posts where you click the photo, you go one place, you click the link of the text, or you go someplace else. We don't have that issue. Right. Okay.
Exactly.
Good.
And in this case, I actually published the post without running an ad at first because I just wanted to see if I could, and it let me. And so that was good. And so it instantly posts to your page. And so that's the thing to remember. So for people who are thinking, boy, I'm going to run out and get approved, and I'm just going to post all these, if you do 3 in a row, you're just going to get 1, 2, 3 posts on your page that have buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. So you may want to think about your strategy for how you're going to do that. And that actually happened for Rethreaded's page because I put one up and I was like, yeah, I don't like that, but it was already live. And so I apologized and did it again. So it's just a matter of sort of planning it out and seeing what it's going to look like. And you do have a few minutes before it gets approved, so you could publish it, see how it looks on the page, see if it really looks like you want it to look, and go from there. But it does have to be approved by Facebook.
So the post schedule will work on those, but you'd have to jump on it right away.
Right. Exactly. You post it and you have a few minutes, and then you could pull it back out. So it doesn't. You can't use a scheduling feature on it though, because it becomes live once it's approved.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so or maybe you're going to show this, Michelle.
Sure.
But so what is the actual purchase page on Facebook look like? Okay.
I'm going to show you. It's a 2-page checkout. It's super simple. And if you already are giving Facebook your credit card, so if you're buying games through Facebook, or you're an advertiser on Facebook, or you have any kind of credit card in there, it gets even simpler.
You signed up for that send money by messenger thing that they rolled out.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, got it. Right. So
pretty nifty.
Okay, yeah. So let's take a look at that.
So, and I'm going to show you that in 2 shakes. If you do choose to pick your audience inside of Facebook, There are several different options. For whatever reason, Facebook and Shopify are not connecting us to our custom audiences today when I put this together. The other day I could, so I don't know what's different between the other day and today. And so this pretty much, if you want to pick an audience while you're in here, it pretty much works like a boost if you're not going to do a retargeting. And so, but it did actually have the retargeting as one of the options. So in this case, this one, we know there was a big news story that just came out this week in Cincinnati, Ohio, about human trafficking, where they are distributing soap into the hotel rooms for the All-Star game, because the hotel rooms are one place where women may have a moment to be alone who are being trafficked. And a lot of people don't realize that large sporting events are some of the most trafficked times in the United States. And so it's huge, big business. The football, soccer, all these big events are also huge spikes in trafficking. And so the Human Trafficking Coalition, I believe it is placing soap in hotel rooms labeled, "If you need help, here's a phone number for you," which is really cool. So which is why I picked Cincinnati, Ohio in this case, and people in Cincinnati, Ohio who are interested in human trafficking awareness, and we kind of know our age range is this age range here and the gender. And so poof, now we've got the ability to market just to that boost, and we're doing it with intention. I don't know if you can see that on the screen or not, but that's why, if anybody wanted to know why we picked Cincinnati since we're in Jacksonville, it's because there was a big story this week there. So once it becomes on the page, here's what it looks like right out of the feed, which is kind of cool. It's pretty straightforward. You get 4 or 5 lines of text, better than any 3-line. What's that, about 8 times more than we get on a Google AdWord?
Oh, yeah.
You do not get, what's different though is you do not get the description underneath it, so you just get the product name. So whatever your product name is on your page is what you get. The price that's on the page of what you get. Your product on Shopify has to be filled in. So if you have a product on Shopify, for whatever reason you do not have a product description, you will not be able to create an ad for it. And I'll show you why. Here's what the ad looks like. And so when you click that button, you get the window over. It automatically throws in the color options, the quantities, and it shows the product description right there. It also shows the shipping and return policies from the page, and terms, and all this stuff goes down the page. You could actually scroll down and see that. And you could scroll through the different colors as well. So this is literally a buy page right now on, well, this one isn't literally, but this is a cut from the screen, because I cut this ad and started a new one. But you can actually see that here's the big square, the Threads of Hope. You can see where it cut right through the middle of my ad, and so I redid a new one. But that purple image there.
So the reason this is working so well and so easily is because in Shopify, all of the various metadata associated with that product is separated out into fields.
Yep.
In the Shopify back end, which is the reason, as you say, if you don't have a description, you're not, they're not going to allow it or whatever.
Right.
Right, but there's obviously got to be somewhere between Shopify and Facebook. They're using either the evolving standard for that metadata format or something. So, because one of the things that should be interesting here is how rapidly Shopify rolls this out to everybody, and then B, how rapidly everybody else follows suit.
Right.
But,
well, and I mean, it's really straightforward. I can finish this. I think it also adds some credibility. For people who already have their credit cards in Facebook, it reduces that friction, right? They like it. They're interested. This particular product, $12. It's not a very expensive product. And what happens? So here's the first screen. You add it to cart. Click next. In this case, I took it out because it was showing my credit card information, so I just took a blank version of this screen. But when I was logged in, it automatically put all of this information in there for me. But if I didn't have it, I could ask Facebook to save my credit card, and it would. And you place the order. I think there was a place for address. In this case, I could change shipping. I don't want to pick up at the store. I had it shipped to my house.
Mm-hmm.
And poof, here I have the purchase confirmation. All this wording was from Facebook. So I got a purchase confirmation once I did it. and they actually shipped my order today, so tell Jamie thank you. And because I wanted to see the whole process. This actually then went to my purchases section in Facebook, and what I also liked is when you have more than one product, do you see that it also recommended another product from Rethreaded there? So now that I'm done purchasing, hey, you like that? Maybe you'd like this.
Mm-hmm.
But not until after they got my money for the first one.
Yeah, that's practice.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so I mean, again, just like, when a vendor supports PayPal, it's like, oh, really easy, huh? Well, I don't have to even get my wallet. Boom. Particularly, something like LastPass or the various other ones like that, where it already remembers my login information. So with Facebook, this seems like they're going to be head-to-head with PayPal, Amazon, Apple. Who else did I miss?
Google Wallet.
You're right. That's the reason I missed them. All right, Google Wallet. But I mean, payment processing is like the new super app.
Well, I've always suspected, for instance, and I've never done the research. I've always thought that Shopify was a shopping cart second and a credit card processing firm first, and that they're a credit card processing company that figured out the way to do more is to provide a low-cost shopping cart for lots of people.
It could very well be.
I don't know if it's true or not true. That's my own thought.
Well, yeah, look at Sears. I mean, Sears is actually in the financing business, not the products business.
Right.
And so, now that's interesting. So, what's the fees? What's the cost? Compared to having your own merchant account and clearing it through credit cards that way, and blah blah blah.
Well, this is just for Shopify itself.
Mm.
Shopify, I think, charges 2.7%, and then 30 cents maybe, I think it is, and no monthly fee. No credit card fee. And, we're seeing fewer and fewer monthly fees. Stripe doesn't charge a monthly fee. Yeah. Square doesn't charge a monthly fee. So everybody's moving to this simplified model, and it's just getting easier for people.
Well, Infusionsoft just rolled out an integrated payment processing deal with WePay.
Yep.
That a lot of folks using Infusionsoft are going to likely switch to.
Yeah.
And now, what's Facebook's cut? I mean, if Shopify is already doing 2.7.
I have no idea because it didn't say to us yet, so we'll have to go back and see how that got processed after the order.
Facebook gets paid for the ads, right?
Ah.
Oh, from Shopify. All right. So that's just a way of, okay, got it. Because you always want to follow the money.
Yeah, follow the money. Well, what's interesting is I got my email right away from Facebook. I didn't write any of this copy. This all was exactly what came from Facebook. And about 30 minutes later, the order showed up in Shopify. Now, I don't know if it's on a timed section and 30 minutes was because it's every 30 minutes, or if it's just that once an hour it goes through and looks through the hooks and moves it over. I don't know the math on that. I just know that I placed the order. It says that at 6:19, but I actually placed the order. I don't know if I still showed the time here, but it was 5:44 when I placed the order. So, but still, 30 minutes to have the orders come up, no big deal. Not a big deal at all. And then once it was shipped, they actually, Facebook again sent me another confirmation email. So, for all intents and purposes, my transaction was with Facebook.
Oh, that's interesting. So that means that the order in Shopify, so when Kristen ships it, her team updates Shopify, and Shopify updated Facebook, which sent the confirmation to the customer.
I don't know, Kristen, when she processed the order, did she have any sense that this order did not come through your website?
No, she didn't say anything. She just went to the Shopify website and fulfilled the order from it there.
Yeah. So.
And the shipping is handled, and the tracking number and all that stuff, that's all dealt with through an app on the Shopify side, right?
Yeah.
Fulfillment. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. So this is a very tight integration. I'll have to give those guys props for thinking that through.
And guess what? Once again, let's see, on the bottom of my email, more from Rethreaded. So they're also cross-selling again after the sale's over and I got the order tracking.
Now, is that a product that you actually had an ad set up for on Facebook, or is that something that they went and got a product out of Shopify?
It was one of the first test products that we did, and
Okay, so you had that in the Facebook system then.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
And Sharon, let's take a second here to answer Sharon's question about this.
Okay.
Like, what about customer information? Is it my customer, Facebook's customer? Clearly, since you had to fulfill the product from Shopify, you know, Kristen had had a full record on that customer.
Right. If you're familiar with the Shopify interface on this screen, this is just a strip line. I just did to protect everybody else's information, but this is right literally out of Shopify. So all that data came over.
1195 is all the info about.
Yeah, you click that.
Yeah.
You click that link, and we got your address. Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Right.
Because they shipped it at Rethreaded. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You know, this is another thing. So we've taken that look at that card. So it's like, on the one hand, I really love it when shopping cart vendors do lots of things for me. On the other hand, sometimes, I wish I could change that because that was a bad choice. Now, they don't have anything bad to say so far about the 2-page process that Facebook's come up with.
And I missed one page. Actually, it might be a 3-page process or 2-page after the buy button. I missed the shipping page here. So, but it's on. I moved a couple of things around. There was a shipping page in between here. So. Okay,
fair enough. But now the question is.
But it's easy.
What analytics do we get to this process, right? So that's, if I can compare, and this really gets to kind of a question that Greg is asking, is how will you be comparing metrics between other methods of managing traffic from Facebook? And that's not. I don't think it's not about traffic exactly. It's about the end result of that traffic, which is ultimately a conversion. So which is better? Sending your prospect to your website and checking them out there, or doing it directly on Facebook? Well, if they have the credit card information already in Facebook, obviously that lessens the resistance dramatically. It may very well also be that Facebook, has a halo like Google does. Everybody trusts Google for reasons that are unclear, and so therefore, like doing the transaction on Facebook feels more secure than doing it on Rethreaded. Well, okay, that's fine, but again, how do I actually make the comparisons? What data do I get about the number of times people click to the cart? Where do they drop out? I'm sure there's a bunch of data missing there that we would consider essential in building a shopping cart, right?
Take a look at the screen now, Leslie.
Okay.
So I just pulled this up. This is live data. So this shows there was one order. That's my order, because we just did this yesterday. 221 people were reached organically. 0 were reached from paid. In this case, 41 engagement. So 22 clicks, 19 likes, and shares. And so there's that, and which was the top product. And we only have one product running right now.
Okay, so we at least get the aggregate of those 2 or 3 pages, which is 41 clicks and 1 order.
Right.
All right.
So better than, of course, this is my order, so it's not a really fair number in this case, but still there's going to be data in here. It'll be interesting to see. It says Facebook sales versus referred sales. I don't know what that's going to be yet until we do it. But still, the fact there is a little bit of data here. Any day we sell one more thing on for Rethreaded is a good day. We measure things a lot differently there. But at the same time, we still have to manage the spend and the things that we're doing. And so there has to be that ROI available, and so we do watch for that. As I get more stats here, I'll let you guys know. But I just thought it was really kind of cool and interesting that it was even available.
Oh, yeah.
Let me
heck yes.
Put this back to presenting mode. So where were we? So just a couple of reminders, and you guys are all marketers. There's not going to be anything exciting and thrilling about these next couple of slides, but just good reminders. Write great copy. Right. This is some copy that we use for one of the videos. This is off the Threads for Hope video, and so we really try to always tell the story about Rethreaded because we know people don't necessarily know what Rethreaded is. And you can see there's also that boost button there, so we're going to be testing how that works. If you pick more than one product, Dano, you're going to love this. I saw he just scooted away. If you pick more than one product, it actually turns it into a carousel ad instead, which is really pretty. And actually the square products look really nice for the carousel.
Yeah. Yeah, it would.
And so the carousel ad is being used in a lot of different ways. And for people who are existing customers, it's going to be a great use for it, or people who've been to the website already.
Yeah, indeed.
Last couple of things, you can publish the product to your Facebook page without running ads. And I already said I'm going to be testing how to do it with Boost and page post engagements. Some people might ask, if you're new to Facebook advertising, you might ask why I would want to do that instead of just doing it right in Shopify. And the bottom line is it's just better audiences. Because when you're using page post engagements, you're able to do more than just interest. You can cross interest with behavior. You can do more on demographics. You can do more with income, so whereas
You've
just
got
a
the
Boost,
whole toolkit of Facebook advertising available to you then.
The whole shamil shemazel. So the other thing that we ran into was the first time I wanted to publish, I couldn't do it because I'm not the owner account. And so the very first one, Kristen pressed publish for me, and it works. And ever since then, I've been able to. And so I don't know if it was an anomaly or what, but it wouldn't let me do it. It came up and gave me the you must be an owner to do this process. So I assumed it was going to be like that every time, but it's not been like that since.
So that's just initiation into the program.
Yeah, and there was there might have been a check here to approve this button that she clicked, and and we're gone. So, questions, thoughts, concerns?
Well, and so there's a question here for Jer. What if I don't have a Shopify site and want to sell directly with my in-house product catalog? Well, so first of all, Shopify is the only one we know of so far that actually supports this interaction directly. Right. Secondly, just looking at all the things that are there, that's a really deep integration. I would not want to have to build that into a homegrown, product catalog myself. That which we're talking about weeks and weeks of highly detailed API study.
Yeah, that's not going to happen anytime soon that way. It's going to be through platforms like Shopify.
Yeah, and so and the other thing, by the way, I don't know what this gentleman is, or lady, can't really tell from this comment, is using, but if you're running your own hosted cart, self-hosted, homegrown or otherwise, you got some other issues you need to contend with anyway. Like, let's start with PCI compliance. So I specifically just recommend self-hosted and certainly homegrown carts just across the board. And like I said, it's this is such a tight integration for the other e-commerce vendors, for the other cart vendors. It's a big piece. It's a big piece of development work to make this happen. So I think many of them are probably going to say, "Well, we'll wait and see." If this
Shopify is ahead of the game because they originally started developing this as a Facebook app.
Ah, right. Yes.
They started their work as, hey, we'll build a bolt-on shopping cart for Facebook pages, and then kind of came to the rest of it because that's what people really needed. But Shopify kind of had a big head start, not just in development, but also in the relationship with Facebook, because they've been working with Facebook going way years back.
Yeah. So the next one is share on I think we talked about this. Is like, is there any way to get an invite? So if you have a Shopify cart, can you raise your hand and say, yeah, I'd like to do that?
I have not seen that yet. This was literally on our login screen, and we went there. Now, you can, if you have Shopify, you can use that app that that Dan was talking about. You can go into your app store for Shopify, but that does not create this buy button situation. It literally creates a tab for you that lets you have a store. But you're on Facebook, I'm not. I think the checkout finalizes on Shopify when you do this, if I recall.
Yeah, of course it would be.
Yeah.
And so, but okay. So now, I think that there's probably a follow-up here. Let's see if we can, reach somebody at Facebook or wherever, or Shopify.
A better shot at Shopify. Yeah, better shot reaching somebody at Shopify. Yeah. Find out if we can.
Yeah, because that's clearly this is brand new. Does it have the potential to be really big? Absolutely. I don't think you have to do more than have an Amazon account and realize how what Amazon does so streamlines purchasing. You know, that's, I mean, it's potentially very, very huge, particularly given the reach that Facebook has. I think that Google Wallet, I mean, they'll probably run into the same problem they have with Google Plus. Isn't, you know, no one cares, but we'll see. I could be wrong about that. But, you know, PayPal, Amazon, and to an extent Apple as well. Now, you know, Google has Google Play. Okay, fine. So they've got card data. Yeah, that's true. But, I mean, Facebook, I don't know. In terms of the community of users, like does anyone have that reach? I don't think anyone has that reach.
No, nobody has more people logged in on a daily basis at this point.
Right.
And, you know, I think number 2 at this point is Instagram, and who owns that?
Oh,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Huh. Oh, that was weird.
Yeah. So, just Michelle, can you go back to that product carousel, because I want to make one point that so everybody knows about that.
Yeah.
And so this is actually an ad that you can run yourself. You can't set them up, or can we set them up now directly in Facebook, or does it still have to be done through? Okay, we can.
Yeah,
but
we can set them up.
You can run these kind of ads now. It's just that the integration with Shopify lets them have that buy button where they literally finish their checkout on Facebook, and then they can save their payment info to Facebook. So now you've got a customer with one-click checkout that you can reach through Facebook.
That's amazing. That's truly extraordinary. Now, so Kristen, I know that Michelle's been helping you quite a lot with Facebook advertising and stuff like that. So, you know, in terms of if you were to characterize, I mean, obviously we're trying to be, you know, look ahead a little bit in terms of how important the buy button is. If you just look, you know, setting that aside for a moment, how important is Facebook, you know, just in terms of, you know, the reach you've obtained, the amount of traffic you get or whatever, however you want to characterize that. You know, if you look at what you're doing in your mission, you know, with and without Facebook, how big a piece is Facebook?
It is the piece. I mean,
oh, okay, so 100%.
It's the way that we drive the most traffic to our website. It's how most people know about us. It's how we advertise sales. It's how we advertise events. It's how we advertise open job positions. Like, it's everything. Like, that's our main source of advertising is Facebook.
Interesting. Well, it's not just advertising. As I remember, you're running, you know, a lot of actual quote unquote content, right? Yeah. So you're doing brand awareness, mission awareness, you know, that kind of thing as well. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Well, it seems like we should, you know, yours is a great, you know, a great organization to find out just how well buy is going to work. That's you know, with some of the clients we work with, Facebook is oh yeah, it's okay, or it's an also ran, or maybe it's too small to matter. But in your case, that's not going to be where it places.
Yeah, it's gonna. Hopefully, it will help drive us sales. That's what we're hoping.
Yeah. Okay, awesome.
And you asked about the 20% rule. We have something interesting with Rethreaded's text, and so while this one is clearly over the 20% rule, because it's a hand-painted text, sometimes Facebook doesn't see it as text, and we're able to sneak by. And so it just depends. So this particular one did. Then I have other ones that don't sneak by that are right on the line. So
yeah, it probably failed the OCR test, and so they couldn't tell what the words were, so they didn't call it text.
Yeah. I think that green background helps mess up the OCR. So
because you hand paint everything, and when you make it.
Yeah. Well, we have an amazing artist who does that's hand painted, and then it's digitally scanned, and so all the art that you see for Rethreaded, the artist that does that, Karen Karicki, does a great job for them. It's amazing stuff. Shout out for little shout out for Karen.
Yeah. So. Yeah, because I mean it's actually that blue green I think that's aqua, right? That it probably, if that's part of the effect, is because it's speckled. If it was solid, it wouldn't work.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, never mind. I had a lapse.
That's okay. That's okay. That's
The geek
okay.
moment there. All right.
But yeah,
Yeah. All right. Interesting. Very
fantastic.
interesting. So what's
Were there any other questions?
Well, yeah. So Michelle, in terms of a strategic perspective at this point, I mean, so I mean, there's a fair amount of work to actually kind of roll the whole product catalog, right? So now that you have this, now that you've proven it works by actually buying something, so what's the plan moving forward with Rethreaded in terms of how do you test this? How do you scale it? You know, what's your KPI for figuring it out? You know, obviously, total sales is good, but you know what I mean, right?
Right. Well, and I think we have a budget that we have to work within anyway on a monthly basis. So at the moment, we're not increasing that budget. So anything we do with this has to sort of fall within that plan, because we also share the mission. We try not to fill the feed with buy our stuff, buy our stuff, buy our stuff every day. And so I don't see, other than me having these 2 posts in a row, I don't see me publishing more than a couple of times a week until all the products are published. And so I might do one. I did 2 this week, so I won't do it again until next week. So maybe every 5 to 8 days, publish another product, possibly, maybe a little closer together, so that they're in the feed. But once they're in the feed, I would like to see us continue using them as a legacy type of advertising piece. So if it'll allow us to continue to get that proof of concept, and so growing on the likes, so reuse that post again as an ad and see how it continues to work. The other way we can do is we'll test image colors, we'll test product colors. The colors come in and out. We just released, was it in April, Kristen, you guys released 3 new colors?
Yep.
With the Harmony, and so they brought new colors in the line. So just like with fashion, they actually follow some fashion calendaring, and so making sure that we're meeting those needs. That's kind of the initial thought with it, is just rolling it out, and bringing those to play here first, and then getting more of their, and then I'll do this live on the air, and Crystal would hit me later, but get more of their brokered products too. Some of the other things right now we're currently selling just the things they make, and so figuring out what the right product mix is to have more reach and have more things for people to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you go into their shop, if anybody who's listening to this in Jacksonville, you can go into their store and buy all kinds of things, or visit a home party and buy all kinds of things. And so, but on their website right now, it's just limited to their upcycled products for now.
I know, we're working on that.
So, Michelle, we've got pixels in there now, obviously, for remarketing audiences. So
Yes.
we're managing some Google grant money, which is something that nonprofits can go get. One of our clients actually did a webinar on that a few years ago to help people understand how to do it. But are we leveraging some of that traffic with remarketing audiences also?
We are in Rethreaded or in Facebook, and so it works out really nicely. We're able to use the Google grant money to drive folks to the Rethreaded website, and then capture them in a Facebook retargeting audience, and then back on Facebook we have them in a follow-up series of retargeting ads, storytelling, and then presenting with product. So we're leveraging the money from Google grants to generate more traffic inside of Facebook.
Yeah,
and
that's one of the
then
cool
back to the
things that
site.
I think a lot of people just don't realize that you can do now. Is you can get a click from anywhere, right? You can bring somebody in from AdWords, and that, honestly, if we didn't have the Google grant money, it wouldn't be economically efficient for Rethreaded, at least, to run Google traffic. But the ability to take that and then start essentially an autoresponder sequence, a follow-up sequence that isn't dependent on going back to Google to get those high-cost AdWords clicks again. You can still deliver that sequence of messages and really tell the story. And then say again, hey, now that you know the story, would you like to actually do something about it?
And I think that, I don't know the exact numbers, but I think we've added, because of the Google grants, we've been able to add close to 3,000 or 4,000 people into the Facebook retargeting audience.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's an old, I didn't see this question earlier. Do we know yet, we may not actually know yet, whether or not this is for, this buy button is for only physical products, or can be used as digital products as well?
That's a great question. I don't know yet. That would be really interesting to see if it could be done um, with a digital product. Of course, there's no download feature there, so that would have to be fulfilled somehow manually on the back end. There would not be instant fulfillment because clearly the order is not instantly going over into your store. But in your Shopify store, I think you are able to sell digital.
Yeah, they have digital download
Yeah.
add-ons for Shopify.
Yeah.
It just means there's a 30-minute delay.
Yeah, maybe a 30-minute delay, right? The other thing I did look up while we were talking is they've been rolling out this buy button for almost a year now on Facebook. So this isn't as new as I maybe thought. This is the first time I've come across it. So it was written up in TechCrunch last July when they were first starting to test it.
Yeah, they announced it there. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we'll begin to see, because I am touching such a large number of Shopify stores, I'm going to keep my eyes forward. But I think probably part of it, one of the hints they said in the TechCrunch story had more to do with things that are fashionable, and so things like that. And so that could be why Rethreaded was selected, because they're not selling widgets, they're selling something cool and neat, and it could just be simply the product category that they're in.
Interesting. So that's we're now at a year on this.
From the time it was announced. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, definitely let's chase this down. I think it would be interesting to figure out what other shopping cart vendors have been working on this or have made any noise that they might be.
Yeah.
But because obviously, I mean, it's kind of like Betamax, right? You need the media as well as the player. And so here, this only works for Facebook if they can bring shopping cart vendors on board with the idea. But it seems a pretty compelling argument to me. If I was a shopping cart vendor, I'd be all over it.
Right.
But, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I think I'm still presenting if you want to take me off the screen.
Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Yeah.
Let me see everybody's smiling face.
Yeah, there we go. I think that works good. Let's see, of the 600, well, it's, many of the targeting audience data, but that's a detail about how you're targeting customers for Rethreaded.
Yeah, and those are but I can't answer that very, very high level, Leslie. The question is in regards to how many likes on the page versus the retargeting audience. Those are two completely different things. So the likes on your Facebook page, if those people have never been to your website in the past 180 days, they're simply not in your retargeting audience. So those are two numbers are independent of one another.
Yep. Okay, great. Well, let's see. Do we have any other? Now's a good time to ask questions. You have questions, all right? And also, Kristen, is there anything that you wanted to add to our discussion here, or is there any final questions we want to ask? Or?
I just want to say thank you guys for doing this work. Like, it's helping us help women. So we're really thankful for all your brains coming together to help make this work. So thanks for letting us be a part. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, no, we're happy to do it. Well, I'm not. I mean, I'm not doing anything. I'd be happy if I was doing anything.
You're happy to have other people doing it.
I'm very happy to have other people doing work. I think it's maybe even a life mission of mine. I don't know. So okay. Dan and Michelle, you want to go ahead and wrap up? Do you have anything else to add here?
I think we're good.
So let's see. Next week, let's talk briefly about what we're doing in our next hangout on air. Same bat time, same bat channel. Are we ready for the AdWords Q&A next week, Dan? Do you think or not? He's muted, so he's trying to answer right now, and I can see.
Actually, he knows he's muted, but he's pretending that he doesn't know. That's even better.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Hard.
No, it's actually I am that dumb, but. So we could do AdWords Q&A because we've got all that stuff out there now, and there's actually I've got a shorter version of the shopping stuff that I'm shipping out later today. That's just the walkthrough of how to target a keyword and put your products on that the search results of that keyword. Or if you wanted to talk about that other thing that rhymes with rapid ranking system,
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Are we going to be ready to present that?
I don't know.
I mean,
Are we?
well, bear in mind I'm out for 4 days, so just
Oh
saying.
yeah. Let's do the AdWords Q&A. That's right. You have to go out into the woods and do wild man stuff or something.
No, it's not in the woods. It's in a gymnasium. Actually, it's in the Austin Convention Center. But
You should do it out in the woods. That would be cooler.
That would be cooler. You're
Leslie's
right.
going to the. He's fighting in the Kumite.
No, there will be no.
If he makes it back alive.
Kumite, wow. I haven't heard that forever. No. It's only forms. It's not sparring.
So it's like dancing, basically.
It's basically
like a dance-off.
Dancing with an occasional yell or two. Yes, it's a dance-off. Dancing with the stars.
Is that like karate lip syncing?
Well, yeah.
Are you judged on your yells? Is that part of the scoring?
Actually, you are. Yeah, that's part of the expression.
I think you'll do well in that part.
Yes, I have a very, very strong key op, so that won't be a problem. So without getting down that rabbit hole. So all right, good. All right, well in that case, so next week we'll plan on doing the AdWords Q&A, which means we better ship out an email here really soon so we get the Q's to A next week. But in the meantime, everybody, pay attention to that email. We send out some really good stuff occasionally, like this one, for example. And this replay should be up sometime tomorrow. Of course, I'm saying that. The only way you would know that if you were watching the replay. So kind of doesn't really matter. And we'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, Kristen.